In December 20 of 2024, the FDA approved Zepbound, also known as tirzepatide, for treatment of moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea in patients with obesity. In my last video, I talked about those two studies and the outcomes that were looked at. So if you haven't seen that video, do well to watch it so you can come up to speed. Today, however, I will be talking about the indications of tirzepatide slash step-bound. I will talk about the side effects, how it, first of all, mechanism of action, how it works, the side effects, what you need to know when you're on this medication, how long you should be on this medication, and what remission means. So let's start with the indication. Who qualifies? Okay. A lot of people have been coming to my sleep clinic asking for this medication. So listen up, guys. Now, this medication is only approved if your AHI is 15 and above. And that is your moderate sleep apnea. The sleep apnea ranges are 0 to less than 5 for normal, 5 to 15 for mild, 15 to 30 for moderate, 30 and above to severe. So Zepbound is only for people with AHI of 15 and above. And AHI is the number of times you stop breathing. We typically find out that after a sleep study. So moderate and up. So moderate to severe, 15 and above. Now, the next set of people would be patients with a history of obesity. That would be your BMI above 30. So these are the two indications for tirzepatide slash Zepbound. Now let's look at the how it works. Tirzepatide is a dual GIP and GLP receptor agonist, so it's a combination of both. Now, what should you expect? What are the side effects? The main thing to expect is a decrease in appetite, and this is really how it works. But these can go a little bit beyond what we expect or what we want, to the point that people don't even want to drink or eat. And so we would be concerned about our chronic kidney disease patients who get on these medications, because they could go into acute kidney injury from not drinking, could lead to dehydration, could lead to hypertension, could lead to orthostasis. And so this is really something you need to be aware of. You need to literally remind yourself, if you ever get on this medication, that you need to eat and you need to drink. Okay. Now, the other main side effect that people worry about, that is most likely going to happen, is your GI side effects. And this could include diarrhea, nausea, constipation. So these are most likely going to happen. These are the most common symptoms, the GI side effects, okay? Typically over-the-counter medications for diarrhea, constipation, and nausea would be sufficient, okay? And one thing to know also is that they realized that after 1 year, people reported little to no GI side effects or symptoms. So expect side effects, mainly the GI side effects, with initiation of medication and with escalation of the doses. That's really when you should expect these side effects. Now, let's talk about who should not be getting this medication, or who is not eligible to get this medication. I already mentioned two prior to now. That would be if your AHI is less than 15, or if your weight is, your BMI is less than 30. But the other group of people would be if you have a personal history or family history of thyroid cancer. Okay, you should not be getting this medication. How long should you expect to be on this medication? That's a really good question, and I get that a lot. A lot of people wonder how long. Now, obesity is a chronic disease, and so is sleep apnea. Now, this medication, if you get on it, you should expect to be on it for life, lifelong medication. There was another study called the Surmount 4 study that was done, where people who were on this medication were observed when they dropped off this medication. So basically, they removed this medication from them, or they took the medication away from them, and they observed them for up to a year, and they realized that these people regained all the weight. all the weight that they lost, they regained. So, yes, there is a rebound, a 90% rebound when you get off this medication. That is one thing you do need to know. You do need to educate your patients on, or you as a patient need to know that if you get off this medication, you would most likely regain all of the weight that you have lost while on this medication. Now, one concern is, what would insurance do typically when people get to their goal weight, or would I say less than BMI less than 30, or they no longer have sleep apnea? Will insurance cover these medications? And that's something that we're going to discover as we begin to prescribe and use this medication. Now, let's talk about what you should do when you're on this medication. The goal of the main thing to do while you're on this medication is to ensure that you're watching your weight with diet and exercise. I would say maintaining your weight. That's really the word to use. Make sure that you have a lifestyle that can sustain the weight loss. This is because of the known possible rebound effect of Zepbound. So make sure that you're exercising, you're eating the right things, and that's when I say that, what I mean it would be your protein rich meals, you're engaging in your weight bearing exercises or your resistance training exercises. These would help to build your muscle and help you to maintain that weight loss over time. Now, let's talk about remission. Now, in the last video, I talked a little bit about remission. Now, remission was defined as two main things: AHI less than 5 or AHI 5 to 15 without symptoms. But these was observed over 1 year period. Now, the question is for people with severe, even moderate, right? Moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea who need um, therapy, how can they get treated in this 1 year time frame when before the effect of terzepatide is seen? And so that brings us to the question that some people might still need to get on PAP therapy while getting to this 1 year. And again, it was noted that it was only 50% of people that got to this remission. And so, what happens to the other 50% of people? Again, telling us that it's not everyone that gets on this medication that will have their sleep apnea completely resolved. Some people will still need to get on CPAP. Anyways, I think that's all I have for you guys. Let me know if you have more questions, what your thoughts are in the comment section, and we can have more conversation on this medication. My name is Dr. Anna Kute, sleep medicine doctor, also board certified in internal medicine and obesity. I will see you in my next